Hello! Friday, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let's get this party started. Got a lot to go for today. And you know what today is, right? Today is Friday. That means it's Q&A day. That means it's everything day. Hi, Hanneke. Good to see you from Germany. Good to see you. Got lots going on. I want to see some people get in here, and then we're going to get down to business. Got some good stuff. Friday's our big show because we always have a lot of really good questions. There's Tracy and Sherry. Hi, guys. We have a lot of good questions, and I want to make sure that I answer them. Oh, how about if I put my thing on? I didn't even do that. There's Bobby. There's Letha, Kimmy. All my girls, here they come. I see Marla. Let me see here. And Rita. And Dale. And I bet this is going to be better. Is this better? Sorry about that. I was charging. What do you want? Charging. Good. There's Catherine. Here we go. Here comes everybody. I've got my magic wand today. A wand is always good. Sometimes you need to be a magician or a fairy princess with a regal, whatever the thing is. There you go. There's Christy. Everybody's here. I love it when I see everybody rolling in here. Here we go. Oh my goodness, we're already there. You know, I always wait to 100, and guess what? Here we are, 108. Welcome everybody. It's Q&A today. So I am really excited about Q&A. I love Q&A because I want to see what makes you tick, and I want to see how I can help you move the needle in your own life. Because honestly, nutrition can be a very, what does Marla say? You have to undo a lot of knots. It can be that confusing, and you can find anything that you're looking for, honestly, by the way. You'll always find something that's going to back up what you think, but it's really hard sometimes to disseminate truth from fiction, and that's my job. That's the thing that I like to do, and I've been digging. I've been on a research binge lately, and I've got stacks of books everywhere. I hope you don't see my mess. I've also got behind me, I've got my vision board and just a couple of quick notes. Everything is in the shop except Infla Crusher. You guys sold me out last time and put me in a back order situation. Thank you. It will be back in the shop probably the end of next week, so feel free to order it. Everything is in the shop. So clean me out so I can order again. The sprint starts on October 7th, so you've got some time to get your supplements. There you go. One of the supplements I recommend, of course, what's this? This is the Hotmelt Mix. Exogenous ketones, which is fabulous. And the other thing that you're going to love about them is that it's going to keep you from the keto flu. This is good stuff. It's hydrating. It's fabulous. On point. It's the only one out there, by the way, that is grass, generally regarded as safe. Everything else is just kind of sketchy. We have that. So it's Einstein had a messy desk, Kimmy. Thank you. Kimmy's my girl. All right. L-glutamine's also back in the shop. I mean, come on, you guys. You just all gone. But I love Q&A. The reason I love Q&A is because we can get to the heart of what it is that you need help with. And I'm honored to do that. I love doing this. Once upon a time when I was a full-time practicing nutritionist, I did that on a daily basis. And I found, for me anyway, it was exhausting, and I had 2 little kids, and I finally shifted to starting writing about nutrition. Then I shifted some more, and I ended up as a dinner diva, and Fly Lady had a whole lot to do with that. That was kind of a collaboration that we had never planned on it. Just, I think God sometimes works in very mysterious ways. So thank God, right? 19 years of friendship, and I get to be living in the town with my best friend now. I can't say enough about that. That's been making my heart really full. So next week, we're giving away Saving Dinner the Low Carb Way. I wrote this book for Marla Silly. Now she thinks, but I'm going to straighten her out right now, that I dedicated this book to fly babies. That's who I dedicated this book to because they asked me for this. What I dedicated my first book to, though, this first one was, and I'm going to read it to you because I want you to know about this dedication. They better not have taken. This book is lovingly dedicated to my dear friend Marla Silly, whose friendship and encouragement go beyond books, business, and success. Thank you, Marla, for everything. That's the book that I dedicated to Marla. It was my first book. It's over like 600,000 copies in print. And, you know, someday there'll be 1,000,000. I don't think it's ever going to go out of print. It's a classic. I was the first one to do the shopping lists and the nutrition and all of that. And I'm proud of that fact. And it made us just, you know, it made everything great. So today, we always start out with our quote of the week. And you know why we start out with a quote? Because quotes are inspiring. Somebody's gone before us and said something that has triggered millions of people, usually, millions of people to just sit up and take notice. It's something that it's food for thought. It's something to mull over and to think about and to understand. And when I when I have a quote in my mind, and when I take a quote, and I oftentimes put them everywhere, the screensavers, print them out, whatever. When I take these quotes, I think about them all the time, and it helps me to align my path. And we always need that. And later on, after our Q&A, I'm going to talk to you about your alignment assignment for this weekend. For always, but especially for this weekend, because the weekends are when we have a tendency to go off the rails. Our routine is a little disrupted, and we're doing all kinds of things, which is great. We love that. We want to be doing all kinds of things, but we also want to be mindful of what's going on. And we also want to be mindful that, hey, if we've been doing all these things with sprinting and hot melting and all this other stuff, why do we want to take it completely offline and go bonkers over the weekend and then have to start over again? Isn't that just a little bit of crazy? That's the carousel of crazy right there. So see, and I did it correctly. Do you love it when I set this thing up right? So what I did today is what I have right now is one of my favorite quotes, and it's Henry Ford, who said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." So doesn't that just give us a big fat permission slip to start thinking bigger things than we've ever thought before? Doesn't that give us a big permission slip to just say, you know what, if I turn that around and start thinking that I can, then maybe I can. I've seen in the Sprint group and in my Hotmelt group is a bunch of graduates from the Sprint group who've decided let's get it on. Let's go a step deeper. Let's up level this whole journey. And what I've seen that has just so impressed me are people who have said, yes, this is what I want. Yes, it's that degree of life that I want. Yes, I see the possibilities. I maybe have never done anything like this before, but now I am, and now I see the light. Now I see the opportunities. Now I see the possibilities. Life changes when that's our vision instead of I can't, I won't, but it's too hard, blaming it on somebody else and all that. When we get down that negative pathway, that's where we stay, and we don't see possibilities. We see darkness. The light is on the other side of that kind of thinking. How exciting is that, right? The light's on the other side. It's a flip of the switch. And at any time you want, you can flip that switch. Because guess what? You're not a tree. And you've got hands that go flip to the switch. Flip, flip. I love that. I always want to be flipping the switch. And there's always a new switch to flip. You've got a lot of rooms in your house. You've got a lot of rooms in this house, this wonderful body that you're fearfully and wonderfully made from by God Himself, who created you for a purpose, and you're here for that. How much better does that get? I just have to ask that question. I have to ask that all the time. I ask that to myself. My life is wonderful. My life is full of infinite possibility. I am living with infinite possibility. When I see that, I light up. My heart almost skips a beat. We can all do that. I'm not the only one. You can do that when you're scrubbing a toilet. You know that? You can do that when you're changing the grossest diaper you've ever seen in your life. You have gratitude for that little one that you're changing that diaper with. Wow, my 25th anniversary, I've lost 9.5 pounds. Boom! Load them up. Let's do it. I love that. So on Monday, low carb book is going to be given away. And you know how you get these books, right? You share this. You share these videos. You know what happens when you share these videos? You are helping somebody else get over themselves, get over all their negativity, and start looking at the possibilities, start getting their bodies under control, their weight under control, maybe lose a few symptoms along the way, maybe lose some medications along the way. You've seen what happened with our Sprint ladies. Unbelievable. If you want that for some friends, then share this video, because I will tell you exactly how to get into the Sprint, which is 100% free, by the way. 100% free. I will never charge for it, ever. It's a 7-day program, and in it, it's a complete 100% anti-inflammatory approach to eating, to getting things back in line, to clearing the decks, getting rid of all the inflammation, all the sugar, all the crap that you already know you shouldn't be eating. Catherine said losing the meds is one of her goals. I think that's a brilliant goal, and I support that. Everybody look at these comments. These comments are amazing. And yes, you can do it. Get into the Sprint. Get into the Sprint and get in with your sisters. This is how we do things. You can start anytime, but we're starting as a group October 7th, and I will tell you what, we crank it up. And that group is right here on Facebook. You get your Sprint, you get your paperwork, you get an invitation, everything. If you go to savingdinner.com/sprint, learn all about it. And the Sprint is going to give you an opportunity to launch. That's what this is. This is a massive launch pad. And people are having amazing results. And I'm thrilled to watch. And I do it with you. So I will be in there doing it with you as well. And while you're at savingdinner.com, please sign up for our emails. This is how we give you all our good stuff. We have daily stuff going on and recipes that we share. And you get to be a part of that. It's a community. And if you haven't liked our Saving Dinner page here on Facebook, what the heck? What are you waiting for? Okay, you ready? Q&A. I've got some Q&As, and I've got some answers too. It can be done. I'm off one med completely, and another one's cut in half. This is Betsy. She's one of our prize sprinters. She did it. She did it. You know, it's about doing the work. And I'm going to be talking about this in your alignment assignment. You know what? Paper and pen would be a good thing. You can write this stuff down, because this stuff you can take to the bank. You can almost take it to the bank. As a matter of fact, if you gave it to your teller, she'd probably be happy. Okay, so Bobby says, this is Bobby. This is our Bobby in the Sprint who dances her butt off and gives us lots of entertainment. I love Bobby. Do you remember me asking about this type of drink, Zevia? It has 0 artificial sweeteners, 0 carbs, 0 sodium, blah, blah, blah. You said, if you must, 1 a day, but only 1. Well, after 6 or 7 days of my 1 a day, I replaced the 6-pack with another flavor, Ziva Cola. I chilled it a few hours later. I drank a few swallows, and my eyes actually opened wider. My brain tingled with exhilaration. I double-checked the can, and it has caffeine. The 1 a day standard of practice went out the window, and I drank 3 from 7:30 till 11:45 p.m. I got so much done off my list of routines. How do I live my very demanding lifestyle? 2 jobs, 2 kids, 5 total. 2 kids at home, 5 total. Girl Scout co-leader, baby stepping through the routines, meal prepping healthy foods without that boost from caffeine in the evening. Okay, so Bobby, I'm going to give you some just practical tips on how to do this. Listen, caffeine is not the enemy, but caffeine and too much caffeine is always the enemy. Too much caffeine is going to give you too much, right? Too much of anything is just too much. So what you need to be looking at here is maybe bringing that back up and enjoying it earlier in the afternoon. You know, doing it at night. How did you sleep was my first question. How on earth would you sleep? If I had 3 cups of coffee, for example, which is basically the equivalent, from 7:30 at night to 11:45, I'd still be awake right now. No way I could do it. Caffeine is not a bad thing. The problem is that having caffeine late at night is going to destroy your sleep cycle. And I'm telling you, if you want to get on top of your body clutter and you don't include good sleep into your routine, even better is honoring your natural circadian rhythm and going to bed a little bit earlier. then you're going to have some issues. Now, I get it when you have all of this stuff going. I know what it is, but you've got 2 kids at home that you can train to help do some of these things. I don't care how little they are. I know that they're probably, a little bit older than real little. So train them, get them to do things, get them to help clean the dishes up after dinner, get them to do things. It's going to take a little bit more time in the beginning, but later on it's going to pay off in spades, and that's a promise. Okay? So that's one thing. The other thing is, as far as your co-leader Girl Scout stuff, if there's extra stuff in there that's causing you to have too much stuff to do, then delegate it out and say, hey, I need a co-leader assistant, and get somebody to help work with you. When I was first starting out as a freelance writer, I was a room mom for my daughter's class. And at the time, it was just too much. All the things that they wanted me to do was just too much. So you know what I did? I asked for a room mom assistant, somebody who would just do the Xeroxing off and all of that, of all the things they needed to do. And I did the other stuff. I got somebody to help me. When you ask for help, generally there's somebody there who's going to help. If you're over volunteering, that's always going to be a problem. You have to start saying no. We know that. No is a complete answer, by the way. It's a complete sentence. But if you are overwhelmed with too much to do with that particular job, then that's your opportunity to step back and to say, you know what, there's just a little too much here. I'm happy to do this, this, and this. I need to bring somebody else in. There's nothing in the rule book that says you can't do that. That helps. Delegating is a way of saying, I want to do this, I want to be a part of it, but I need some help. Having the guts and the fortitude to say I need a little help is the equivalent to flexing your muscle, flexing your strength. It's a strength to admit that you can't do it all. It's a strength. So capitalize on that strength. Ask for the help, and bring in somebody who could be competent to help you on the things that need help you need help with. And you know what I always do whenever I'm like hiring somebody to work at Saving Dinner, or I need help with something, or I need a contractor to do something, it's always something that is one of my weaknesses, things that I cannot do. I hire somebody to do the tech part of Saving Dinner, but I do the creative, I do the writing. All the writing that you see is mine. That's what I do. But I come up with the ideas. All the products that I've come up with those. That's my strength. My weakness is in the tech stuff. My weakness is keeping the website updated. I don't have those strengths. That's cool. You can't do everything. Although my daughter, by the way, go see her website, inheritedsalt.com. She did the whole thing from scratch. She did her own website. And she's got a cookbook club, by the way, looks pretty cool. She's a doll. My daughter, Caroline Bergeron, married, no grandchildren, by the way. And she's been married 6 years in November. And she has dogs. Okay? Just letting you know where I am in my life. So back to you, Bobby. We always want to take something that we had in real life before we decided to start taking care of ourselves. We want to replace something. And I know yours was like Diet Mountain Dew, which I was so glad to see you pour that crap down the drain. Sorry, I know your husband works for them. But here's the thing. You can have things as long as they don't impact your blood sugar. And I know you need to test things. You can replace things as long as it's not going to lead to a downward slide. One of the things that I oftentimes say is like some of these desserts are just a huge problem, even though they're compliant by just what you're looking at. But those stevias and whatever they are is... those are going to cause a problem. They can cause a huge problem for some people, because even though they don't have the impact, they could have the psychological impact and cause a huge slide. So physiologically, maybe it works, but maybe it's going to be a problem for you. And that's why we have to test and see where we can go. Yesterday I was sharing that I had really this time broken up. I'm just broken up with chocolate. We actually divorced. I had to. It was time. I shared with you my struggle with this stupid chocolate and going back and all the energy and all the time, all the weight gain from chocolate over the years. It had to be a divorce. I had to. I just stopped playing with that because it was like a bad boyfriend. It was going to come back and abuse me all over again. So getting rid of chocolate has been a good thing for me. Chocolate is my drug, says Vicky. Girlfriend, I know all about it. And I think sometimes we just need to break up with it. It's like getting rid of the needle, getting rid of the booze, pouring it all down the drain, getting rid of the Mountain Dew, pouring it all down the drain. You have to get rid of it. Divorce yourself from it. So for you, getting so much done is a matter of breaking things up. It's a matter of delegation. That's it. That's all I can say. You break it up, you delegate. Break it up, delegate. I do, laundry day is that's not a thing for me. As soon as I have a load, I put a load into the washing machine. I fold my stuff when it's, the news is on or something. We're watching TV. I fold it all up there. I put it in a laundry basket and I take it into the bedroom right then. I unload it before I get into bed so that I'm never dealing with it. But these are just little things that you do. It's incremental and you build them into things that you're already doing. Piggyback, that's a routine. You piggyback your good stuff in, and then you're constantly refining and redefining what your routine needs to look like. I have added to my routine, for example, I've added in the morning that I drink a whole glass of water and do my 4-minute workout before I'm allowed to have coffee. Before. And I make my coffee first thing in the morning, undo my dishwasher, and I race getting my dishwasher unloaded at the same time that the coffee is going. And even if it's beat, I am not going to grab a cup of coffee until that 4-minute workout is done. Otherwise, it won't get done. I know me. I know how I operate. So you can do all of these things. But see, that a month ago, that wasn't on my routine. It is now. It is part of my morning routine now. And same with that water. Drinking that water is an important thing. We need to hydrate. And this is a big important tip too, by the way, for hydration. When you drink a glass of water first thing in the morning before anything else, you re-stimulate your body. Your body needs the hydration anyway. You've by just breathing and sleeping, you've lost some of your hydration. We do. That's how we dehydrate. So gather it back. One big glass of water. What a cool thing, right? What a cool thing. I love that. And speaking of that, I love this. This stuff is amazing. It's back in the shop, Hot Melt Mix. Get it. Put your ketones on point. So that's what I can say to you, Bobby. That's in a roundabout way. I hope, that helped you out. But everything that we're talking about, every single thing that we're talking about here is all a matter of routine. And it's a matter of, looking at what it is that you need to do. The other thing that I would suggest, this is one of the things that I do in my Take Back Your Life workshop, and that is, using my journal on, how to journal, goal journal, and that is to time block. So take a time block of the time you're awake to the time you go to bed, and through all those hours, figure out what is it that you need to do within that time. This is my hours of working. What can you add in? Like, for example, if you work in a building, in an office building, you can add in your flights because, you can get up every hour and go do the stairs at your office. You can do that. You can go, up and down the stairs 3 or 4 times. No big deal. And then at the end of the day, you've got all your flights done, right? The flights are important. The flights are what keep us going. We just did a 5-mile hike yesterday. Mark says it wasn't 5 miles. It said 5 miles on the thingy. It said it was 2.7 miles to the falls. So then you got to go back. That's 2.7 miles too. That's 5 miles. Thank you very much. And it was not hard for me, even though there was some up and down and up and down and all of that. It was great because you know why? My legs were in shape from doing those flights. It happens. And I've got strength in them. I can feel muscle again underneath A little flagella that's under there. All right. So I hope that helps you. And Bobby, I'll be seeing you in the Sprint group anyway, and also in the Hot Melt Diet group. Moxie sent some questions, you guys, and they are so great. And she also has very fun way of writing, so I'm going to share some what she had to say. Moxie is in New Zealand, so she's fun. She said, "I am so thankful for you and Marla. You guys are the dynamic duo, and I need you both. Being Hispanic, it's always been that family give it to me straight, so I like to pretend y'all are my aunts, and you're telling me what I need to hear. Yes, Aunt Leanne checking in, and I know Aunt Marla's there too. There she goes. She's going to help you out. I also love when you get on your soapbox about something. My ears perk up because I know you're about to drop some serious insight and gold nuggets on a subject that's usually not public knowledge. Oh man, I'm so thankful for you, Leanne. It's so obvious when you talk that you know what's up with a lot of stuff, and you're working hard to know what you know. Your passion for helping us with nutrition on top of educating is amazing." She spelt all that. I like it. "It shows enormous amount of love in your heart to help people, and that's why I love to listen to all you have to say. I even take notes." This girlfriend takes notes. Are you taking notes, you guys? She takes notes on everything. Usually listen to replay, pause it, and make sure to write things down. Thank you for being my coach. My privilege. Here's her questions. Step by step to make bone broth. Now, Moxie, you might be like Moxie in that she wants everything measured out and everything in order. And we're going to break Moxie of her habit of that right now. Okay, Moxie, I love you. Seriously, I'm your coach. Listen to me. And if you are having a problem with like exact measurements and how to do this whole thing with bone broth, I'm going to take it down, break it down to Chinatown, make it super easy for you to get, and let's get you going on this. Okay, so question. I buy a whole organic chicken in the store, uncooked in the freezer section, still in its wrapper, question, or the hot one, cooked, seasoned, and ready to eat? And my answer is whichever one you want. I would suggest getting the one that's raw and cook it yourself. Roast it. Roasted chicken. Easy. One of the easiest things ever to do. And it's kind of training ground for roasting your first Thanksgiving turkey. Even though you don't do Thanksgiving in New Zealand, I'm going to guess. It'd be a fun thing to do, right? So just roast a chicken and then eat off of it. Eat off of it. The whole thing. Rubber chicken. One meal. Lots of vegetables. Then the next thing you know, you've got leftovers and you make a chicken salad or whatever, and then you've got the bones. 3 meals out of that. 3 meals. Use that carcass, that bony little carcass that you've got left, that is going to become bone broth. Yay. So do I put the whole chicken with meat still attached, or take the meat off and eat it for a meal, or just put in leftover bones? Leftover bones. How long do I cook it for, and what else do I add to the pot? 3 days, apple cider vinegar. You add onion, celery, garlic, and carrot, right? The onion is going to take precedence. It's going to be like 2 onions to 1 carrot, 1 celery. Garlic as much as you want. I go crazy. I do a handful of cloves, handful. So we're talking a lot. I mean, I'm just ridiculous. I use fresh herbs. I also put in some thyme. I put in some rosemary. I put in salt, lots of pink Himalayan salt, lots of freshly ground pepper. And then I put in apple cider vinegar. That's the thing. Organic apple cider vinegar with the mother. 2 tablespoons. You put it in a 6-quart, 7-quart, 8-quart, I don't care. Whatever pot, crock pot, slow cooker, whatever you want to call it. Fill it up to the fill line on the water and let it go for 3 days. Or you can do it in a pressure cooker and just do it for 2 hours on high. And that is how it's done. She said, after the timer goes off on the crock pot, do I cool it off with the lid open for a while, or start pouring it into zip? Let it cool, and then you're going to strain it, right? Some people go crazy and they strain everything through cheesecloth. To me, that's just like, come on, I'm not Martha Stewart. All I want to do is get my broth strained. I don't want big chunks of anything in there. I just want to get it strained, right? That's what I'm talking about. So you strain it, you cool it, you put it in the refrigerator. There will be a fat thingy on top. You have to decide, do you want the fat or do you not? Marla likes it with the fat. I don't like it with the fat. So when we were at her house on Wednesday, I was looking through her little ice cubes because she boils hers down into a concentrate and then does it with water, which is a brilliant idea, by the way, for keeping this and just doing one at a time, 1 cup at a time. But I looked for one that had very little fat. It's just me. I don't like the fat. It makes it on the top of my mouth. Then she's got a list of random questions. This is still Moxie, by the way, and she's got some more. And these are great. Yeah. Do you use bones more than once? No, I don't. Some people do for the beef, but never for the chicken. The chicken don't last. They kind of fall apart. Random questions. My mom is underweight, trying to gain weight. She's trying to snack more during the day, but isn't snacking habit what leads to diabetes because of constant insulin release? That's really hard. That's an individual call, and it depends on what her tests are. It depends on the things that she's trying to do. But my suggestion for her would be to just pump it up. In other words, give her more protein, give her a little bit more fat, and make sure that the fiber's in there. She would be one of these people who I would probably give oatmeal to, steel cut oats with some blueberries and some cream mixed in. And if she wants a little maple syrup on there or a little bit of coconut sugar or something like that, something that's not real sugar, and just a tiny bit, it would be okay for her, as long as she doesn't have blood sugar issues. And as long as it's very little. None of us need to have a lot of sugar, but she would be okay with something like this. But everybody needs the target trifecta. The target trifecta, as you know, is you've got protein, fat, and fiber. And everybody needs that because that's how our human, mechanism works. That's how we eat, so that we can have satiation in our stomach, so we can have good digestion, so we can give our body the fat that it needs. That's how our hormones get fired off. Without fat, they can't work. If you have a foggy brain and you've been on a low-fat diet for a lot of years, change to eating a lot of good, healthy fat and watch your brain light up. Your brain needs it. We need fat in our diets. We need fat in our diets to make our body run. It's just that simple. So try that with her. Will the Sprint and Hotmelt help with sex hormones? Girlfriend, yes. Because, okay, inflammation is the big blocker. Inflammation is like, being on the football field and having the defensive guy come right at you. You don't have a chance. It's like getting quarterback sacked. I shouldn't be using football analogies because I hardly know what I'm talking about. But the point is that without a plan to deal with the inflammation, you're constantly running. It's like running on a treadmill. You're going nowhere fast. And if you want to clear the decks and start bringing yourself back in, start reeling yourself back in and your health, you must clear the decks. You must get rid of the inflammation. And you have to do that, you have to eat less inflammatory foods. We do that with the Sprint. And if you've been on the Sprint, and anybody who's interested, saveydinner.com/sprint, it's free and it's helpful because it has everything in it that you need. Every single element of this Sprint plan I've planned out. This is my 3rd iteration on it, and it will clear the decks. It gets rid of the inflammation. We have to get rid of the inflammation. If you're constantly dealing with inflammation, there's no way that you're going to get your hormones in alignment. There's no way that you're going to get your A1C down. There's no way that you're going to get your blood tests coming back where your doctor says, congratulations, they're at optimal level. I had that happen to me, by the way. The only thing that was off for me was that my thyroid antibodies were still up there, but in the hundreds as opposed to the thousands that they were in when I was, in trouble and in a big, bad way. So sex hormones will line up again. Yes, they will. You have to give them what they need. And it goes beyond that. And I don't know how old you are, Moxie, or what you're going through, but there are doctors out there. They're good integrative doctors who will look at your sex hormones and will help you get them dialed in, your estrogen, your progesterone, and all of them, so that you're feeling good. And there's ways of doing it that doesn't have to be as, cause so many side effects that a lot of them do. like Premarin, for example. There's an alternative to that. So it helps. She's trying to get my nutrition and exercise under control because the symptoms I get after eating: bloated stomach, lethargic, exhausted, needing sleep, itchy eyes, brain fogginess, and grouchiness. So the Sprint will help. Yes, indeed. And so will the hot melt diet. Yes, yes, and yes. What is going on with brain fog oftentimes has to do with the lack of good, healthy fat in your diet. We've all been into this whole, I need to eat low fat and polyunsaturated, sunflower seed oil or corn oil or any of this other crap that's out there. All those vegetable oils need to be trashed, just like Bobby did with the diet Mountain Dew. Down the drain. Don't do it down the drain. Your plumber will hate you. Get rid of it. Stuff's crap. Here are the two oils you need, or 3, maybe even 4. You need olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and you don't cook with it in a pan. Some of my older recipes will have that in there. If you do use it in a pan, it's not extra virgin olive oil. It's not your good olive oil. Your good olive oil should be put on the side and used only in salad dressings and such. Drizzled, appreciated, and elevated to a level of almost olive oil from the gods, because that's, especially the fresh pressed olive oil that Marla, both of Marla and I know, our olive oil hunter and TJ Robinson, and have great respect for the product that they put out. That's good stuff, but it's expensive. We're not going to say that it's not. It's expensive, but it needs to be treated as such, not cooked with. Okay? You cook with avocado oil, fresh avocado oil. Avocado oil is expeller pressed. This stuff is great. It has a high smoke point, and it is not going to be causing you the problems that all these other crappy supermarket vegetable oils are. Okay? Those are inflammatory nightmares. These other ones are not. Okay, that I'm talking about. So that's the other one. You can use coconut oil. Now, coconut oil is really funny because people are like, coconut, cook with the coconut oil. It's got the acrylic acid in it. It's got all these other stuff. But here's the thing you have to understand. It has a low smoke point. And if it smokes in your pan, it's bad. You've just now taken a good fat and turned it into a trans fat. So it's going to damage your body. You don't want that. We have to be careful. And we even have to be careful. I am a big sauteer. I love saute. I love a little brown and everything. But be careful with your heat index, because that heat can turn that, that little bit of browning and what have you is fine. But if you get too crispy brown all over, and there's stuff in there that can cause cancer. And I can't remember the name of the compound. Acrylamide? Is that what it is? I think it is acrylamide. But it's a problem. So we have to watch that, even with our good healthy food. You can use lard if you have a good, that's the other thing. I was going to say animal stuff. Duck fat and lard. You can use those two things. Those were shunned how many years ago? But they're back, and they're good, and they're healthy. Store everything correctly. Dark cupboards, not sitting there next to your stovetop getting hot. And, just make sure that you're treating them with respect. These things have fragile fatty acids, fragile, and they break easily. So we want to honor them, and we want to treat them well. The other thing is MCT oil. MCT oil is medium chain triglycerides. It is a type of coconut oil. It is a better coconut oil. Okay, it is a better coconut oil. It's pharmaceutical. It is a pharmaceutical grade. It is refined to the point where the acrylic acid in it is a lot more. And I used this stuff on my son when he had very bad eczema. You can use that with MCT oil on little spots and what have you. Just amazing. I've actually used, when I was in full-on rosacea, my skin was kind of creepy and itchy, I used MCT oil when I got out of the shower, and I would use it carefully on the spots. The kind of rosacea that I had was like this on my cheeks. It was just like 2 continents. That's what I used to call it. I had the 2 continents right there. It was gruesome. But it helps because the acrylic acid in it is really good and nourishing. So that's the thing. But don't cook with it. But you can use it as part of your Target trifecta. You can put it in your smoothie. You can use that as your fat. You can drizzle it, anything. You can make your, if bulletproof, I used to be a big bulletproof coffee drinker. I've since kind of gone away from that and for some people that's going to trigger an insulin response. Some people it won't. So that's a version of fat loading with coffee. That's another subject entirely. I'm not going to go there. All right. So that will help. That will help with your sex hormones. Anytime you get rid of the inflammation stuff, your body starts to automatically heal. It can't help it. It's like, oh, okay, so the inflammation's gone. I don't have to be under, such attack anymore. And now I can start doing the work of rebuilding. You can't rebuild if you're constantly burning down. Think about it. If your house is on fire, you cannot start the rebuilding process until you put the fire out. It's exactly how your body is. You've got to put the fire out, and then you can start adding the good stuff in, and it works. Okay, I get guilt that I can't be there for my girls and husband, and that's why I'm working hard to be fully on board with you and Marla and learning both nutrition and fly habits. I will tell you, and what I'm going to do a little teaching on in just a minute, is that when we are doing both of these things, we're moving the needle on our lives. It's not just the needle on the scale, but we're moving the needle on our lives. Our houses become, Marla calls it self-cleaning, but our houses get in order, and we can put our own personal home, our bodies, in order. And now suddenly life opens up. The possibilities, the opportunities are there that we never saw before because we were consumed with our backsides and with our messy houses. That's all we could see. And barely getting through the day, getting the work done, feeling like we're out of breath, feeling like, is this all there is? Getting into bed. I remember this clearly. Getting into bed, tears just rolling down and going right into my ears and thinking, my life is horrible. And here I was with these two wonderful children, but I had a marriage that was just not great. And everything just was overwhelming. I was homeschooling my kids. My house was a mess. I was carrying around I was over 200 pounds and very uncomfortable. And, what else do you think about? That's the full sense of what you have. You're overwhelmed by everything. You're overwhelmed by your body clutter. You're overwhelmed by your house. You're overwhelmed by the responsibilities that you have towards your kids. And there's nothing else in life. That's sad. And we can get out of that by taking care of our homes and by taking care of ourselves. It's incredible what happens. It is a massive change. Okay. She said, oh, I have to read this one, Marla. This is for us. Take care. And by the way, you look so young. There was like 4 exclamation points. I couldn't believe your age when you said it. And same goes for Marla. Buckle up, Buttercup. Yes. I like it when that happens. Okay. All right. Now she's got some questions about the sprint, which is good because the sprint is coming up and it's time to get ready. Don't you want to get ready for the sprint? Of course you do. Don't you want to have all these results that everybody else is having? Of course you do. So I'm going to read some of these. She wants to know about the trifecta smoothie. You can break it with a trifecta smoothie. That's right. It's the Target trifecta smoothie. It's in the Sprint document. All you have to do is go to savingdinner.com/sprint to get it. I'm not going to give it here. 2 eggs, handful of spinach and avocado, or 10 to 12 selections of almonds. Right. I want to know, she wants an exact measurement of avocado. What should I do with that, you guys? I'm going to tell her this. Moxie as much as you want. As much as you want. As much as you see fit. But I would say 1/4 would be good. A quarter of a good size avocado would be good. Just go with that. There you go. She's trying to get this together, stay on track, Hotmelt diet, yada, yada. I suppose I just want to let you know how it is for me. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I love the support in the videos. Being a visual learner, it's really changed my life. You have no idea. Sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Love you, Moxie. And thank you for your questions. And if you have questions that you want answered, I'd be happy to do that. All you have to do is send them into support@savingdinner.com. And next Friday, I'll be talking to you directly, just like I did with Moxie and Bobby. Okay, so where are we? Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit, give you an alignment assignment for the week. And I found this. The reason I'm talking about this is because I found a journal of mine. And this is what happens. You guys know who I am right now today in my life in 2019. You know exactly where I am. I share with you daily right here. And what I wrote was this: when you believe there's no choice, you are stuck. Is that not true? When you believe there is no choice, you are stuck. And I want to share this with you because we build ourselves imaginary prisons. We build ourselves imaginary prisons and think that we have no choice, that there's no light switch, there's no switch to flip, that there is nothing for us, that we are burdened down by the bad choices maybe that we've made. You know, I was counseling one woman that was in one of my programs who had a lot of weight to lose, like a lot of weight to lose. She was way over 300 pounds, and she just felt like she had no choice, that she was stuck, and there was never going to be a way out. Well, you know, what I told her was this. I told her there is a way out. If there's a way out for me, there's a way out for you. And I may have had less weight to lose than you had, and I may be on a different path than you are, but it just means that your journey is a little bit longer. We're all on the same path, you guys. We're all on the same path. It's whether or not we choose to keep one foot in front of the other and to keep walking is the whole thing. Because there's going to be a time where something is thrown your way, and it's going to be discouraging. Somebody's going to take the wind out of your sails. Something, you know, is going to happen, and your stress levels are going to go through the roof. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop. That doesn't mean that you're stuck and you have no choice. You always have a choice. And when you understand that you always have a choice, you don't have to lose your grip. You don't have to give up. You always have a choice. There's always a switch to flip. It's a matter of a decision, and it's your decision to make, yours alone. You make it in the privacy of your own head. You make that decision. And then your actions, that's the alignment assignment, need to add up to what it is that you've decided. Okay, we're going to get to that. I also wrote this in my journal. If you change what you believe, you change what you experience. How many of you have felt that? That you changed what you believed, and then suddenly things changed. All of a sudden, new things opened up. You started experiencing different things. And the reason that happens is because your mind shifts. Your experience, you've gone from being this narrow to being this wide. And the path is this, instead of being this narrow, is this wide, and there's other things there. I did this I really remember this to the day that I stood in front of the mirror and said, I'm going to take back my body. I was looking at myself. I had gained weight again, you know, the carousel of crazy. I felt awful. I felt the rosacea, plantar fasciitis, the thyroid, you know, my antibodies were out of control. I had Hashimoto. I couldn't get my thyroid back into control. It was crazy. But the minute that I thought that I could do something about this, the minute that I thought and shifted my belief into that there is an answer to this, I just need to find it, everything changed. Because I was told, you'll never lose the weight. With your thyroid, like, you'll never lose the weight. I was told my eyebrows would never grow back. As a matter of fact, I went and got little tattooed eyebrows. But right now, this eyebrow that you're looking at, those tails are mine. They used to not be there. They grew back. Okay? With Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, not supposed to grow back. I was told that the fatigue and the brain fog just going to be a part of my life, and that I just needed to adjust for it. And you know what I said to that? I said no. You know why I said no? Because that's not what I wanted in my life. So I was convinced that I needed to do things that were going to align with my assignment that I gave myself, which was to take back my body. When you make something in your mind and you make that decision and you flip the switch, if you don't align your actions with your decision, everything is out the window, and then you're conflicted. And talk about energy. Your energy is all stuck on, yes, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Oh my gosh, I don't know about this. Maybe I should eat this. Maybe I shouldn't eat this. Oh, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what this guru is saying. I wonder, what are my friends doing? I'm just going to forget about this. I'm just going to go on Facebook and mess around the rest of the day. I can't even think about it anymore. I mean, the chaos that reigns in our head from being out of alignment because we haven't put any girth, any weight, any impact on that decision that we've made. We get stuck. We get stuck with, we know that we want a different choice, but we stay on a path that isn't aligned with that decision. We stay on a path that's destructive. So your beliefs and thoughts and emotions are either in alignment with what you believe and with your new decision, or they're not. So getting into that alignment assignment is doing a double check. Is what I'm doing aligning with what I want here? Simple, right? I wrote this. I thought this was a good one. Being hungry, wanting more, and seeking it out means that you're alive, you're optimistic, you embrace life, and you understand that you get to create it. How much fun is that? I want you to write this down. I get to create the life that I want. I get to do that. I get to create the life I want. Do you know why you get to do that? You get to do that because you are the ultimate author, finisher of your own life. You know, you're the creator of your own life. You get to write what it's going to look like. You get to see your vision of what you look like. You get to see all of it. And this is the point that Diana Nyad made for us. You know, she found a way. She knew 3 ways that didn't work when she crossed the ocean, when she swam, and the last time at 64, when she finally made it happen. She created the life she wanted. She created something in her mind. She saw it in her head. She aligned with it. So here's what you need to do if you want to create your alignment assignment. And I think it's really important to do this today as opposed to Monday because you're going into the weekend. Weekends can be a little, unnerving sometimes. But I want you to see the contrast. See the contrast. It's this versus that. It's what you want versus what you don't want. It is what you might have right now, but how you can flip the switch and go into what you can have later if you stay the course. How exciting is that? You need to understand that the time and their energy spent should equal the outcome that you're desiring. So if you're spending a lot of time worrying and doing, all of this kind of business, you are going to lose out on the opportunity to put the pedal to the metal, put some action behind your alignment, and get that alignment assignment going in your direction. People are seeing this in the sprint. You know what I'm seeing in the sprint and in the Hotmelt diet group? I'm seeing women who are taking charge of their lives. Instead of saying, I can't, they're seeing the possibilities. Instead of saying, that won't work for me, I can't, giving a bunch of excuses, they're looking for solutions. There isn't a problem out there that doesn't have a solution. There isn't. It might have changed, and you might have lost legs in a motorcycle accident. I use that all the time. You can't grow those legs back. But the problem isn't that you don't have legs. The problem is that you see yourself as not having anything to do that now that you don't have legs. You don't look at the possibilities. What is it now that I don't have legs? What can I do now? Go and look and see the people who are empowered doing incredible things without legs, who are in wheelchairs. Where you are doesn't limit you. It just changes your perspective. It changes what you can do in the ways that you can do it. Okay, that's really important. And living in alignment is freeing. It gives your brain a chance to double down on anything that you're doing, everything that you're doing. So as you're like out, you do resetting your kitchen in the morning and unloading your dishwasher, drinking your whatever it is that you're doing. Every time when you're doing something that is in alignment with the decision that you've made and the empowering decision that you've made, you're strengthening that muscle. You're strengthening that muscle, you're strengthening your resolve, and you're going forward, and as you go, every single day, it gets just a little bit easier. But we don't let down our guard. We recognize that there's always something out there, and we need to be unaware. I would say this to you as any woman who goes into a parking lot, especially at night, be aware of your surroundings, right? We don't want to be the mugged gal that's thrown in the back of a trunk. Well, that's how it is with being aware and enlightened. We need to be aware always that there's danger lurking out there. There's some kind of food that's going to trigger you at some point. You need to be aware and need to be ready for it. There's going to be some kind of something that somebody's going to say something that's going to disrupt you. That's another thing that you need to look at. But you don't have to live in that. You simply need to be ready for it. Does that make sense? Be ready for it and know that at any time, in any place, at anywhere, you can flip the switch. You can keep making that decision. And if you do fall and stumble, okay, pick yourself up, girlfriend. That's it. Pick yourself up. It's not the end of the world. What is your lesson? Come away with a lesson. Write down the lesson. Write down what it felt like. Write down all of the things. We can start to connect and align our emotions with the things that when we do it right, that a girl, you go, write it down, how you felt, the strength that you felt. And when you fall, you write that down, how awful it felt, what it was, how it just made you feel like you're just not cutting it or whatever it is. Then review those journals, for heaven's sakes. Go back and review it. Go back and see how far you've come. Celebrate your stuff. When I read my stuff in my journals, sometimes I feel like, you know what? I feel like I'm going places. I feel like I've got this. I feel like there's no way that I can fall. And then there's other times where I just feel like such a weak kitten. There's other times where I feel like I'm just like, how am I going to be able to do this? I shouldn't be talking to anybody. Nobody wants to listen to me. We all do. We all have that. But you know what the louder voice is on me? I feel like a powerful woman. The louder voices is me is I am Wonder Woman. And you've never seen me and Wonder Woman in the same room, have you? Okay, I'll rest my case. Drops the mic. Maintaining consistency in your life with your assignment, your alignment assignment is what's going to make your life 100% better. It's going to change the whole path and the whole direction. It's going to make your life incredible. I mean, unrecognizably incredible. And that's what you get to do when you start with the sprint. I'm serious. This is what you do when you start with the sprint, because you clear the decks, you get rid of the inflammation, and you get to be in a community with amazing women who all have your back, who all love you up, support you, encourage you, and get you on your path. I've been talking for an hour. I just want you to be there, that's all. Anything that I can do to help you, that's what I'm here for. So go to savingdinner.com/sprint if you haven't already. And if you want to learn more about the Hotmelt diet, and you want to go up another level, you can do that. Hotmelt, what is that? savingdinner.com/melt. And that is where we go and we do some coaching and some Q&A and some all teaching and some all kinds of good, yummy stuff. So go within. Write your alignment assignment out and understand that the more you put behind that alignment assignment, the more lined up you are going to be with that flip of the switch, with that decision that you've made for yourself. Take back your body, take back your life, or create one. all new. It's up to you. You have that power. That's all I have for you today. I will see you at tea time, and I will also see you tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow at 1 o'clock again. Right? Take care. Bye. Peace out.